Mr. Krabs decided to turn the restaurant heat all the way up until the customers got so hot that they started pouring their drinks into their pans. The burgers melted instantly, and Squidward almost drowned in his own sweat. The only one who didn't seem to feel anything was an old man sitting in the middle, so strange that he took off his beard and wore it like a bib. That sight made Mr. Krabs so angry he almost melted in place, and it turned out this old man was the most famous cheapskate and freeloader in all of Bikini Bottom. Every time he entered the Krusty Krab, he ordered half a cup of coffee, paid only half the price, occupied a table for hours, made weird noises from time to time, and survived the whole day on free condiments. A customer tried to argue with him and asked him to lower his voice, but the moment the old man looked at him, the customer got scared and ran away. Mr. Krabs realized there was someone even cheaper than him and decided to kick the old man out, but the customer stopped him and said they would all leave, so he was forced to let him stay. The old man then started doing whatever he wanted, bullying Squidward and slapping him from time to time, until Mr. Krabs finally exploded, pulled out a record, turned on DJ music, and suddenly the Krusty Krab turned into a nightclub. Still, the customers were the ones suffering, as the whole place lifted into the air from the noise, while the old man was asleep, completely unfazed. Mr. Krabs was shocked and couldn't understand how he could sleep through all that noise, until he realized that not only did the man hate the cold, he was also hard of hearing. The radio was blasting. He was even toasting bread using a vacuum cleaner hose. And then he said, "Respect your elders, SpongeBob, or I'll crack your head."
A new herbal juice shop opened across from the Krusty Krab, and all the customers got excited and rushed to it, causing Mr. Krab's sales to drop rapidly. He immediately thought this was Plankton's doing, but when he confronted him, he found Plankton just as confused. After a short time, the shop began multiplying quickly. Customers filled the place, and herbal juice branches appeared everywhere. Seeing this, the two decided to work together and steal the shop's secret juice recipe. Mr. Krabs started sneezing non-stop to create a distraction, while Plankton tried to sneak into the kitchen, but instead he slammed into the door and a worker came out with bug spray aimed at Plankton, forcing them to flee in panic. Late at night, they disguised themselves and tried to enter through the roof, but they triggered the alarm system, which left only 3 seconds before self-destruction. Mr. Krabs panicked, ran away, and left Plankton behind, but Plankton refused to give up and tried to target a customer's cup of juice, and in the next moment, the customer accidentally sucked it up, leaving Plankton injured and swollen. Plankton began complaining non-stop, and Mr. Krabs shouted back at him with the same intensity. While they were arguing, SpongeBob suggested they simply buy a cup of juice. The idea shocked them both, as if it revealed a hidden truth. When Mr. Krabs went to pay, he suddenly could not let go of the money and kept pulling it back from the register until Plankton finally convinced him to release it. They grabbed the juice and ran straight to Plankton's lab to test it. Karen said the juice was nothing but simple herbs, but before she could finish, Mr. Krabs took a sip and almost spat it out. Plankton tried it too, and from the very first sip, Mr. Krabs became addicted, drinking more and more. When they returned to buy another juice and drink it, before SpongeBob, they found everything had turned green and discovered that the juice was actually made of bacteria. The authorities shut down the shop, and suddenly both Mr. Krabs and Plankton themselves turned completely into bacteria.
SpongeBob put a glass shell on Gary. It was the right size, but the visible veins made it look a little scary. It turned out that SpongeBob had accidentally broken Gary's shell at the beginning. Gary was very upset, so SpongeBob tried to put it back together and give it to him, but it broke again. Then he tried giving him one made from his clothes, but that did not work either. When he tried putting a helmet on him instead of a shell, Gary threw a book in his face, and the book turned out to be a magazine about snail shells. SpongeBob saw the original ghost shell that looked exactly like Gary's, but its price was $955. He found it too expensive, but suddenly he saw a TV advertisement for a shell shop, having discounts called Jack Shell Shop. In seconds, SpongeBob went there and told Jack he wanted a new shell for Gary. Jack was happy to finally have a customer. The first shell he chose was a pink one, similar to the original, but the size did not fit. Then Jack brought a yellow shell that fit perfectly, but SpongeBob decided to test its strength and crushed it easily in his hand. Jack did not get angry because the filming was live, so SpongeBob decided to choose by himself, but broke another shell while just looking around. Then he saw a third one, but tripped over his shoelace and fell. Jack got fed up and told him not to touch any other shells. In the end, Jack brought him a very hard metallic shell, but it was so shiny that SpongeBob got confused and crashed into the shell behind it, causing the whole shelf to fall like dominoes. The result was that all the shells broke. People thought Jack had run out of stock, but it turned out he had a super shell made of a very strong metal. This time, SpongeBob decided to be careful. He tied his shoes tightly, dried his hands, wrapped them with insulating foam, and carefully held the shell. And still, it broke. Jack exploded with anger and demanded got it for him. Then Mr. Krabs came in, looking satisfied, wrapped himself in a blanket, and left. But Gary was upset and closed the door on SpongeBob, leaving him outside. No compensation. SpongeBob gave him all his money, but Jack said it was not enough and asked for his arms, and SpongeBob agreed. Then he asked for other body parts, and even his eye, and SpongeBob agreed as well. So SpongeBob ended up bankrupt and in debt. He took a cardboard shell from the trash and put it on Gary, and Gary started crying, and SpongeBob cried with him from guilt. Suddenly, Mr. Krabs appeared, and SpongeBob told him that if he found a proper shell for Gary, he would work for him for free for a whole year. They agreed. That same night, SpongeBob saw something scary in the dark, and when he turned on the flashlight, he discovered it was Gary with a new shell that looked strange. Clearly, Mr. Krabs was the one who